You're listening to Behind the Bulldogs, brought to you by Ferris State Athletics.
Off the left side, to the end zone! Touchdown, Bulldogs!
If I'm even having like a bad day on the course or something, I just look down at it and just feel like thankful that I'm able to be out there.
Making sure that we're like where our feet are and we're not thinking about outside distractions.
Welcome in, everybody, to another banger episode of Behind the Bulldogs. Brandon Worth, Tatum Outlaw here. We are on number 10. It does not feel like it. We're on number 10. Crazy.
I know. We were just talking about it. It feels like we've done like way more than that, but it's also the time has flown. At the same time, it's weird.
It literally has. We basically have every sport known to man competing right now. It feels like in the fall and the winter, which we'll get to the recap. A recap what happened during basically what was called the roundup. Some called it the gauntlet weekend for those in ops as well. Is we have another one coming up here because it seems like everybody's winning and we're going to be hosting a lot of stuff, which is a good problem to have. But that'll be coming up on the next weekend. We'll also let you know what's going on in the world of Ferris State Athletics this weekend if you're around. And we will have some home events for you here, including football. But we'll catch that here on the end of the show. We've got a great interview for you as well. Annie Noel as well as Trevor Taulien joined us here. Our first hockey guest. We've wanted to have hockey for a while now. Obviously, shout out to On the Ice. You guys can follow that on Spotify and Apple as well. For all the hockey guys, Brody and Beth doing a fantastic job. And we're glad to steal a couple episodes, guests from them here on the show, but really glad and you can check them out as well. And just great guests. And it seemed like they brought out their personalities on the interview.
No, I totally agree. They were a whole lot of fun amongst some of my favorites. I know I say that every episode,
but it's hard. It's hard to pick favorites.
Everyone's been so much fun. But yeah, it was nice like getting to see more of their personalities and learning some cool quirks about them. So
absolutely. Yeah. So be sure to stay on the lookout for that here in just a moment. But first, we'll get into what happened this weekend. And trust me when I say this, there was a lot that happened this weekend. So bear with us. We'll kind of go one game at a time here. We'll start back on Thursday. Soccer falling to Parkside. Just a rough first half for Coach Henson's team. They just got behind the ball. And they were able to really make a nice second half effort. It was just a little bit too little, little bit too late. And obviously they would have loved to have that one back, but they had a very nice bounce back as well against Purdue Northwest, a 1-0 score line there. And it was a really good matchup for them on Saturday morning, obviously playing in the elements, playing at 11 a.m. Hard thing to do, obviously, when you're used to playing at 1 o'clock or 3 o'clock or whenever the kickoff is. But really good overall performance from there. And they finished out the regular season on a high note. Unfortunately, the postseason, their season coming to an end a little bit too early in the postseason, falling yesterday to Davenport by a score 1-0. Really tough way for this team to go out. They played so well. On Tuesday. And unfortunately, just, one good play by Davenport was the decision in this one. And you hate to see a lot of the ladies that obviously had a couple on the show here already so far. It's just really tough to see some of their careers come to an end in a game like that because they really had a fantastic careers and people should remember the Final Four run. They should remember the GLAAC championships because that group earned it.
No, I totally agree. And I think talking to some of the girls after the game and about their season, they do truly work so hard and they played their butts off. And I know they invested so much time into not only working hard to play their best this season, but doing what they can for their team culture. And I know that they worked really hard for it. So nothing to hang their heads for, but just feel for the next season.
Yeah, nothing to hang their hands on. And obviously we're going to see a couple of them back as fifth years, which is very exciting. And obviously we'll cover that as we go along here with our episode. Also in volleyball, really good weekend for you guys. Obviously 2 wins, especially just talk about being able to get those 2 wins and especially kind of finish out the home regular season slate on a high note.
Yeah, Northern and Tech are both very good teams, so we kind of knew it was coming. And I think we play every team twice, and I think the second time you play each team in your conference, it's you got to expect the storm coming. So we did that. We did the best we could to prepare for it all week and the week ahead. And so we just executed. I know I say that every time, but it's just one game at a time and executing. And they definitely put up a fight. So it was nice to win tough games like that, especially for like our last regular season home games.
Yeah, for sure. And especially the home crowd on hand. It was really fun to see.
Yes.
A lot of Michigan Tech people coming over for the hockey game. It was a great environment. You guys can certainly.
The gym has been overflown.
It really has. We just built the facility, and now it feels like we need to rebuild it over again with more seats. So
people need to bring their own chairs.
yeah, bring your own lawn chair. We'll just stack them on the end of the row, and you guys can watch. Maybe make it a suit package. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, straight wins there with Northern Michigan and Michigan Tech. You guys are just on a roll right now. You'll finish the regular season this week, and we'll obviously get to those matchups here at the end of the show. Hockey, speaking of which, it was overall Friday night was a battle, lost 3-2, and then Saturday they played well, just 5 minutes that the Huskies played some of their best hockey all year, 3 straight goals, and pretty much only 2-3 minutes at a time. It was just a complete and utter blitz is the word that comes to mind. But obviously you heard from the guys, you'll hear from it in the interview. They played well. They're just really trying to figure out what that little funk is where they're giving up these kind of 5-minute spurts, because other than that, they're competing with a lot of these teams in the conference.
Yeah, I would just have to echo off of that. They were saying like they play hard, and I totally believe it. It's the same thing with soccer, nothing to hang their heads for. It's just kind of figuring out how to finish and using all your strengths to win. So
absolutely. They'll be on the right track, and it certainly takes some time with a new group, and so we'll be looking forward to that.
Yep.
Men's basketball, regional crossover game against Northwood dominate. You'll see a reciprocal 85-58 scoreline if you look up online, which, by the way, FerrisStateBulldogs.com for anybody that wants the stats and analysis on each of these games. And then you see, obviously, them bounce back in the second game over on the next day on the 9th, 94-72 over Lake Erie. Coach Brockman's team's rolling right now, and really since that exhibition against Michigan State, you've seen that this team has a lot of potential. They go down to Texas and get a split after a lot of days of travel, which is something that obviously you can relate to, especially Tatum. It is hard to play when you are on the road constantly going from place to place. So it's really impressive what Coach Brockman's team's doing here right now to start the year.
Yeah, and I think all of like the fresh faces we've seen out there, because it is a very different team than it has been in the past. I think they're finally like getting those jitters out, getting their flow going, and it's definitely showing while they're playing.
Absolutely. And on the women's side as well, you saw them pull in against Southwest Baptist 82-75, which was a really good result for them. And obviously they're doing the same thing. Like they're on the road. They get the job done as well over Drury there in Missouri. And it's just impressive. Obviously top 15 ranked in the country, obviously men's basketball in the top 25 as well. And it's just super impressive because it seems like year after year basketball, losing all the seniors might be a down year. No. Just rebound and rebuild, literally and figuratively. Then, especially with the women's side of it, they just seem really focused right now. Obviously, Caden Blanchard has been scoring the basketball. Everybody else has been contributing around her, and that's just it's a really positive thing this early in the year. And it's unfortunate they won't play till Saturday. They're gonna have an off day, which they deserve it. Trust me, they deserve it after the effort they've put. But it's unfortunate because we want to watch these teams. They're fun to watch, men's and women's, especially women. They're fun to watch. We just want to see them as much as we can.
Yeah, and I think it's definitely a little bit more difficult when you do have such a successful season the year before. So then everyone's going to play hard against you that following year. And I think they're handling each game at a time the best they can, and they play hard. So it's been really fun to watch them so far.
Absolutely. And to finish out as well, how about that football game? That was something else to watch. 27-24. Deep breaths all around the board.
Breathe now.
It was just a crazy football game. And you got to give credit to Saginaw Valley. That's a good defense. That's a good football team. And they always bring it at Top Taggart Field. You can look back at every other year, obviously, when they've made the trip up to playoffs. It's been a tough game each and every year. Coach Brady, and especially in Coach Anise, it's just back and forth, crisscross and checkers and chess, basically, at the end of the day when it comes to strategy and the way these two teams play tight games every year. But that's an impressive win. A lot of people were going in. Maybe this was an upset for Saginaw Valley. Coach Anise's squad gets the job done and stays basically number one here in the country. And that's something that is bringing them a lot of confidence going in against Davenport here to finish out the regular year, hoping to be number one by the time the postseason goes around.
Well, and this is why we play our sports. We love those close games. Obviously, in the moment, we're like, can we pull this off? But winning close games like that are why we play. So I'm just so glad that we have teams that can do that. And it was nice to see football pull out another win.
Yeah, for those that like blowouts, I get it. You want to see your team win big, but players want the close games.
Oh, yeah.
You guys love that.
It feels way better to win a close game than when you're just blowing a team out.
Right.
And then you play better. You rise to the occasion. It's just all way better.
Yeah, root for close games, but of course Bulldog wins. That's basically the TED Talk from...
We love them both. A win is a win.
Sure.
But the close game wins feel just a little bit better.
Sure. And you're never worried about the blowout because it's 1 point at a time.
Right.
All the
it's
time.
1 point at a time.
Exactly. All right. Without further ado, we'll send you to the interview room. We'll bring on Andy and Trevor Taulien for another banger interview. 10 out of 10. All good stuff. A+ so far.
Our track record is perfect.
Absolutely. Which, by the way, you want to vote for the next guest. follow Tatum Outlaw on Instagram.
Yes.
Submit your picks because we've basically gone through our preset schedule now. I mean, it's a free-for-all. The fans might be picking the next couple.
Yeah, first come, first serve. Now go check out my Instagram at Tatum Outlaw. Give me some suggestions because we do look at the suggestions. We were just looking at the list. So.
We do, and there's been some good ones, but no pressure. You better pick a good one.
Yeah, if you guys give us a bad one, we're never taking your feedback ever again.
That is very true. All right, without further ado, we'll send you to the interview room with Andrew Noel as well as Trevor Taulien. Now joining us here in the interview room, we got a pair of Ferris State hockey players joining us, Andrew Noel as well as Trevor Taulien. Guys, welcome to the show. Great to have you.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, we're happy to be on.
Absolutely. And it's about time we got some hockey players on. And obviously you guys are with Off the Ice, so Brody and Beth are watching. We're going to try not to steal your thunder here. But the first question, obviously, you guys coming off of a tough weekend against Michigan Tech, a really good team, and you guys certainly showed that you can play with those guys. Just how would you evaluate your guys' team play right now, and what are some of the things that you're doing well and some of the things you want to improve on?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, the biggest thing for us is, we're really close. Like, we're playing some really good hockey right now. We're doing things that, the past 3 years that we haven't seen done as a team, right? We're carrying the play pretty much throughout the whole game. And it's just getting over that next hump here, finding that next gear, where we're finally putting wins on the win column. I think that's the biggest thing for us is we're super close and we're super confident about that. And it's just getting to that next point and having that confidence and that swagger where we're walking in the rinks and we're expecting to win. I think we're getting really close to that. So.
Yeah, I agree. Andy, you put that well. I feel like it's just like the little things. We're right there. And hopefully we get a good weekend here against Lake State up in the Sioux and then down in Traverse City. So
absolutely. And I was going to ask you guys about that. Obviously, you're going to be playing at Red Wings training camp facility. It's got to be a pretty cool feat, get a little bit of that pro style. Obviously, you guys played in the GLI over the last couple of years, so you get to play in Van Andel in that barn. How does that feel, especially to play in some of those pro rinks? Kind of feel like a childhood dream it has to.
No, that's it's amazing. I mean, they used to have a junior team there. Actually, my brother played for the North Stars, so it's kind of fun to go back there. I used to be cheering for my brother there, and now I get to play in the same rink he played in. So I'm super excited and stoked.
Yeah, it's always awesome playing some cool venues. It's great to play here and play on the road at these different schools. But when you get to have a different experience and go in, and play in a different environment and see some different places, it's always fun and a great experience for sure.
Absolutely. Out of the barns, you obviously can't pick Engleglave. I know it's your favorite. What's one of the favorite barns that you've ever played in? It could be at Ferris or even before.
I don't know. I like playing up in the UP, up in Northern and Michigan Tech. They usually pack it, so it's fun to play in there. But obviously, I love playing here as well. We got a lot of good fans coming out and supporting us, so.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I'd say other place than here, I think Minnesota State takes the cake for me.
Yeah.
Just kind of like a pro style rink, but they have that college atmosphere in there. So I've always loved going there. Also, we get great food on the road there too. So that's always a help.
That's always a plus.
Yeah, absolutely. When it comes to the Origination store, I know you guys kind of touched on this a little bit with Off the Ice here when you guys last were on last year. But what was kind of the introductory moment to hockey and when you fell in love with it and you wanted to run with it?
Well, I guess my dad loved hockey growing up. He didn't get the chance to play whenever he could, but he was more of a football, basketball type of guy. So he put my brother in hockey, and I was watching my brother growing up and always play mini sticks with him. So I found the love for hockey like that, and I just went with it.
All right, right on. How about you, Andy?
And as soon as I can remember, I had skates on. My dad was a hockey coach, and my grandfather, who's the winningest hockey coach in Massachusetts history. And so as soon as I could walk, I had a pair of skates on and just kind of went from there. My brother played, everyone in my family played, and it's just kind of, you didn't really have a choice. You're playing. So, yeah.
Nice.
Absolutely.
Was there any other sports that you guys played growing up? Like, because I know for a lot of athletes, it was kind of choosing between two, or for some of them, they're like, nope, I'm only ever good on one sport. So.
I played basketball, baseball, lacrosse. I actually played soccer for one season. I think I went to one game.
Nice.
But hockey's just been the game that I love and the game that I've been playing. So
yeah, same here. I played pretty much everything under the sun. And it was just like great to stay busy. I think I loved baseball growing up. Played a bunch of lacrosse. I raced mountain biking for a while too, which is pretty interesting.
Whoa,
Yeah.
that's cool. Elaborate on that. What got you into? When did you get into racing?
I don't know, just kind of the school that I was at, they had it, and I was like, wow, this is pretty cool, and like kind of ran with it a little bit too. Like got pretty good at one point, and it's great conditioning. Like I still ride a lot, whether it's road biking or mountain biking. One of just a passion that I have, so I love it for sure.
For sure.
Wow.
Out of those sports, if you couldn't play hockey and you wanted to go collegiate, professional, what one would you try to pick?
I don't know. I really love lacrosse because it was kind of similar to hockey. So probably that, or maybe even basketball because I have the height for it.
All right on. Andy, how about you?
I think I'd be a bullpen catcher in college baseball.
Oh, yes.
Like you get to warm up pretty good. You get all the good getch, but you're also you get to travel everywhere. But sometimes you're not getting in. But I think that would be the best thing ever.
There you go. Hey, they still get the big bucks
Exactly.
at the end of the day, for sure.
Yeah.
When it comes to obviously the second half of student athlete, right? We've touched about the athlete part. When it comes to student, what are you guys studying, and why are you pursuing the degree that you're pursuing right now?
Yeah, so I'm a major in business with a minor in project management and leadership. And it's kind of just one thing that I've loved is my leadership kind of part there, and my project management as well. I think after hockey's done, I really want to get into coaching. And so a lot of the stuff that we learn in those classes, it's all about management and how do you work with teams and work with, the people around you and being able to handle that stuff. And so I think it all really translates a lot into coaching, but a lot in just to the team aspect and what we go through every day and managing people and managing relationships. So I think I've really enjoyed my process here so far.
Yeah, for sure. Seems like everything kind of falls into line when you learn in the classroom and then bring it to the rink as well.
Yeah, 100%.
All right. How about Tees? We'll throw this one to you.
I'm majoring in business finance, so kind of got that from my brother. He's a financial advisor down in Alabama, so I kind of want to follow his footsteps. And I don't know, I feel like there's a lot of math with that and kind of savings for the future, all that. So kind of went with that.
For sure. So you can tell us what stocks to invest in here coming up really soon.
Yeah, soon. I need to take that class first.
For sure. Tatum, what you got?
I was going to ask the same thing about my stocks. I'm currently in finance, and you said something about finance. I was like, you can help me out with my work. You had mentioned earlier about like the atmosphere of like our arena, and I feel like that's how it is. I feel like every Ferris athlete would say that. So tell me about what it means to you, because your guys' gym, I play in a gym. Your guys' arena is always packed. So just tell me about like how helpful it is having so many fans and like the community around you guys.
Yeah, I think every time just walking out into the rink and, hearing the band or hearing the students there, like you get chills. Like it's awesome. You're skating out underneath that Bulldog with all the smoke and you're like, wow, like this is awesome. This is fun. There's no really words to describe how much it means to have, our student athletes and like the people in our community just showing up for us every single night.
Oh yeah, I agree on that. You put that well. I mean, just having the community come out and help support us. I mean, us giving back, they come and support us as well. And then you got the band's playing. You got all the other student athletes coming to support us as well. So it's a very great moment going out and playing for them.
For sure. After obviously the goal horn goes off, if you had a post-goal scoring song, almost like a walk-up, but after you score, which one is it going to be and why?
On the spot here. This is tough.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'll probably say big Blackhawks fan, so I'd say Chelsea Dagger.
Okay.
I like that one.
It's
I'm
a
not
classic.
very good with song names, so it's the only one I could point out.
There you go. Our listeners will fill in the blanks for us for sure. How about you, Andy?
Yeah, I think for me, it's the old Bruins goal song.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if you know that one, but it's that, whoa.
There you go. That's a good one.
Yeah, so I think that would be mine for sure.
Yeah, right on. When it comes to, obviously, hockey can be super superstitious, as we found on the show over the years. Any superstitions as far as you guys got to go through certain routines, eat something before the game that's got to be the consistent every time? Are there any superstitions in your guys' routines?
I mean, got to get a pregame nap in, and then got to be at the rink at the same time every Friday or Saturday, whatever time the game's at, and then kind of pieces fall from there. Not super superstitious. I do like to play sewer though. I make sure I play sewer with the guys.
Okay.
But yeah, that's kind of it.
Yeah, I would say a lot of my stuff is just more of a routine. But the one thing that I love to do with my roommate, Max Itagaki, is we always have a Dr. Pepper at It's like 3:37 in the afternoon. Yeah.
That is.
I'm not very superstitious, but I will drink the same drink at the same time.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
That is
and so,
interesting.
yeah, so we sit down at 3:37, we crack a DP and watch a couple music videos on the TV.
Oh,
Whoa!
Yeah,
What
yeah.
kind of music videos are you talking? Are you like pump up music?
No,
Like,
we're more like 90s soft rock guys. Like, yeah.
okay.
So we're throwing in like, oh God. So our favorite one is the Iris 2004 Buffalo music video. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that.
I don't think so.
It's gotta be one of the greatest videos of all time.
Interesting. So you're just feeling the vibe.
Yes.
When it comes to that moment, you're just enjoying it for the time that you have.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
And that's like one of the best parts of like game day for me is like sitting down and just doing that with him. So yeah.
Yeah. But there you go.
that's everyone's homework. To all the listeners or watchers, you got to watch the music
Make
video.
a playlist. of all these
2004
guys.
Buffalo.
Yeah,
I might cry.
That should be a segment for you. You can make your own like music video playlist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you guys make a music video in the locker room when it comes down to it that we'd play before the game?
I feel like they would.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Okay.
I see your guys' TikToks, so
There you go.
Yeah.
We got to get something in the works for you
Get Jack
guys.
Silch in there.
Yeah.
He'll do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get him behind the camera, not in front though.
For sure. When it comes to, obviously, you guys mentioned a little bit about the environment. What's your favorite thing when it comes to, not necessarily game day, but we'll talk like the actual in of itself, the game. What's your favorite part about the fans as far as being with the team, the environment, the crowd? What's kind of the number one thing that makes you love hockey in the moment in the game?
I mean, I love hanging out with the guys, but also all the fans that come to support us, whether it's people in the community or other student athletes or what. So, but yeah, that's probably my favorite.
Yeah, I think kind of similar. Like you love the ups and downs of the game. Like you never know what's going to happen. Like obviously you want to go out and feel like you're going to win every game, but the beauty of it is you don't. And but particularly, I think the biggest thing that I love here is crunch time. When it comes over the speaker, it's crunch time. I'm like, that's awesome. Like that's super cool. So I always love that. Yeah.
Yeah, we certainly love that. I know Jason, who obviously was the PA guy that started it. He loves it every time when he comes back to watch.
Yeah.
So it's certainly a special time. Really quick here, obviously running out of time, but when it comes to you guys and your recruiting stories, right? Hockey comes from all walks of life, different continents even. When it comes to how it brought you to Big Rapids, what was kind of the steps that you took to get here?
Yeah. So for me, I was playing junior up in British Columbia. And my season, we went to the Fred Page finals my last year, my age out year. And I didn't have a commitment at the time. And I was sending out emails, trying to get something going. And finally I got an email back from Coach Famulak here and one thing led to another and ended up committing here and probably in the middle of July. So really late, like a month before we came in and that was my process. Never stepped on foot on campus until I moved into the dorms here. And yeah, so that's my story. Yeah.
That's a very common thing. I feel like I've heard
You've
so many
found that out now.
Yeah, because I thought it was so rare because I committed before I'd ever stepped foot on campus, and it could have been like the COVID timing of it all too. But
Interesting.
Yeah.
so many people have been taking like leaps of faith here, so
Yeah.
that's cool.
And it's all worked out. It seems
Exactly,
like, which
yeah.
is crazy. So, Tease, how about you?
For me, Coach Famulak, he gave me a call and said he wanted me to come up and visit and liked how I'd play. And my coach called me in, had to talk with me. He goes, "Oh yeah, Emerson Good, my teammate now too." He's like, "He's going with you." I was like, "Oh, perfect. Like I'm not alone in this. Like we can go together." We came, saw the facility. We loved it. We both committed. And I mean, both been teammates for what? I think this is our 4th year now. So,
Nice.
but yeah.
Yeah, certainly super special. And we're so glad you guys have been on the show. When it comes to the final question, obviously we'll tee you guys up with this one. What's your favorite thing about being here at Ferris State, being a Bulldog?
My favorite part is obviously stepping out on the ice and seeing all the fans. I love having the support of all the community, student athletes, and so on. Also, just love the environment on campus. Just going to school here is just awesome.
Yeah, I think for me it's just a small town feel. Like I love the community that we have here and connecting with, not only our teammates and the other athletes around school here, but also the people in town. I work for a landscaping company in town, ProTurf. that's not a free advertisement, Marty, anyway.
Who's one of the linesmen?
Yeah. But I love the community here. I love, going downtown and, going to Curry's and seeing Pat and all the locals here. I think that's the one thing that you don't get in a lot of these college towns, is that small town feel where everyone knows everyone, and you can go anywhere and, walk into a restaurant, 10 out of the 20 people sitting in there. And I think that's something that I really dug into being a student here, is, taking advantage of that and making sure that, your teammates with the people that you play with every night, and, the people you go to school with, but also the people in the community here. Those are the people who drive, everything here, and being able to not only support them, but also take that support back your way. I think that's something that's been extremely valuable in my experience so far.
Awesome. Yeah, the community aspect, it seems like everybody has thoroughly enjoyed in their Bulldog experience. So that's good to hear.
Yeah.
But fellas, thank you so much for joining us. And we're glad you stopped by, and wish you the best of luck this weekend on the ice.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having us. Yeah.
Big thanks to Andy and Trevor for joining us. Another great interview. And obviously you guys have the pressure now. You're going to be picking, but 10 for 10 feels pretty good to be on top of the world.
Yeah, it was cool to just learn more about them, and they were a lot of fun. I feel like we could have just had a 3-hour long episode with them. But yeah, they brought a whole bunch of personality.
Yeah, for sure. I'm going to have to look up the playlist that they're looking up on YouTube. Sounds like a vibe. So we might have to.
Yeah, that's your guys' homework, is to watch
right.
their music videos.
Go get the music video. Go pull it up. Crack a Dr. Pepper, courtesy of Andy Noel. Anyway, we'll get to the Ferris State slate real quick before we send you on your way. Obviously, this will be out as of Thursday, so there would have been basketball last night. Sorry, out of luck that you're hearing the slate, but they'll have played Lewis. We'll obviously recap that on next week's show. Friday the 15th, we got volleyball on the road. You guys are going to Hammond, so good luck at Purdue Northwest. Yes. And then hockey will be at Lake Superior State up in the Sioux. And hockey will obviously playing on that Saturday night as well. That game 6:07, the Friday night game obviously at 7:07. And then you guys will be in Kenosha at Wisconsin Parkside at 6 o'clock. Good luck twice for you guys over there. Football will be hosting Davenport, Calder City Classic, year one. Here we go with the rivalry. That's kickoff at 1 o'clock. There will be alcohol sales once again. Make sure that you know the re-entry rules as well as all the parking, tailgate, gates open information will be on Ferris Athletics on YouTube, or not YouTube, excuse me, on social media as well, as you'll see more coverage of that on YouTube. When it comes to the radio show, the Bulldog Blitz, as well as off the ice. Men's hockey, Ferris State at McKendree, that's at 6:30. And then women's basketball is here, just down the hall. Jim Wink Arena, come on out. Grace Christian is in town. We hope to see, not Grace Christian, sorry, Great Lakes Christian. I always get those mixed up because they always, one plays one and the other plays the other.
Sounds alike.
You just kind of mesh them together. So
same school.
Yeah, pretty much the same school at this point. Hopefully none of their fans are listening. Like, no, we're not the same school. Great Lakes Christian at 7 o'clock there on Saturday. And then as well, we won't have any action until Wednesday. You guys will be in the GLIAC tournament, so that'll be exciting.
Semis.
Hopefully at home. Pretty much as a lock at this point. You'll be at home.
Yes.
As well as women's basketball will be home against Northwood, and men's basketball will be at Ashland. So with more information, ferrisstatebulldogs.com. A lot of excitement coming up here, and I'm sure you guys are very excited to host GLIACs coming up next week. That's going to be really fun.
Yes. Yeah. The season has flown by. So
really has.
Keep acting like we just started, but we're entering playoffs now. So wish us luck. Every team that's entering playoffs too. Wish
Absolutely.
them luck.
Yeah, wait, it's going to be here quick, fast, in a hurry. Like cross country already finished up. Soccer is now finished, but it still feels like we are just absolutely churning out. We're bringing fans out. So be there, be square. Be sure to follow us as well. Behind_Bulldogs. You can follow Tatum for all of the fan as well as interviewee suggestions. We'll be combing through those. I mean, we spent maybe an hour already, not even 30 minutes, and we've already gotten like 25 plus responses already. I mean, you guys are flooding the gates, and we haven't even announced anything yet. So our jobs are going to be fun when we have to review all those.
Yep, we've gone through our preset schedule, so now anything's up for grabs. Please give us your suggestions. We listen, we consider, and we'll probably use them. So
for sure. And don't be a fake fan and suggest somebody who's already been on the show.
Yeah. Okay. Everyone gets
not to name anybody, but you kind of named who already it was. So be sure you can follow along with all the episodes. Be sure to subscribe. Big thanks to Dazos Digital. We'll see you guys next time on another edition of Behind the Bulldogs.
See ya.